Hey everyone, this week we are going to use rules to create or extend number patterns. Now I can't really make this difficult because it's so easy. We're going to learn about what is a rule, what is a feature, and how can we use it to make or extend number patterns. So the first thing we need to know is, what is a rule? Now we all have rules at home, but this kind of rule applies to math, and it is a phrase that tells how numbers are related to each other. So that's what we're going to write right here. How are numbers related to each other? A rule tells us how numbers are related. And we're going to use those rules to change the numbers and extend our pattern. A feature gives details about the rule and the pattern. Features can be something as simple as all these numbers are even or all these numbers are odd. But most of the time when we're talking about a feature, we're going to use it is a multiple of 2 or they are multiples of 6 or whatever the case may be. So before we get started with anything else, we're going to look at this little thing right here. This is called a function table. A function table is kind of like a machine. You put a number in, you apply a rule, and then you get a new number in the output. So this is your input, this is your output. And you get your output based on the rule that is on the function table. I know it's kind of hard to see in this video, but it says the rule is multiply by 3. So we're going to take the number in the input, 4, and we're going to multiply it by 3 to get the output, which is here. So what is 4 times 3? 12. So our number is 12. That is the start of our pattern. 5 multiplied by 3 gives me 15. So I'm going to put the 15 here. And I'm going to continue my number pattern until I get all the way to the end of my function table. This says 6. 6 multiplied by 3, because that's the rule. We have to follow the same rule for the whole table. 6 times 3 is 18. Let's fill in the rest of the chart. 7 times 3, 21. 8 times 3, 24. 9 times 3, 27. Can you see a pattern here in these numbers? They're all multiples of 3, which is going to be our feature for this table. They are all multiples of 3. Now I know what you're thinking. Miss Lukey's, this is way too easy. It's got to get more difficult. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't. This is as hard as it gets. If you can figure out what the rule is, you can fill in your tables. Or sometimes there's not even a table. It's just a list. So we're going to take a look at that right now. I took this example from your lesson that you're going to be doing, which is 14-1. The rule for this problem is subtract 7. So we're going to look at these numbers, see how it's not in a table, it's just a list. Starts with 154, 147. The rule is subtract 7. So 154 minus 7 gives me 147. 147 minus 7 gives me 140. I need to fill in the two missing numbers. What is 140 minus 7? 133. What is my next missing number? What is 133 minus 7? Because we always go back to the same rule to fill in those missing blanks. 133 minus 7 gives me 126. Once I fill in my number pattern and I check my work, it's going to give me a second question. And the question is going to ask, what is the feature? Well, all of these numbers although they're very, very big, are multiples of 7. And we know this because we're taking 7 away each time. And we also know that 7 times 20 would give us 140. So subtract 7 to get the numbers in our pattern. Our feature is that they are multiples of 7. Pretty simple, right? Find the rule, apply the rule, tell me what the feature is. Pretty simple. Sometimes it's even simpler than that. Sometimes it looks like a pattern that we've learned in kindergarten or maybe first grade, and it looks like this. Sometimes it says, draw the next 3 shapes. Still a pattern. We need to figure out, using the rule, what are the next 3 shapes? The rule says heart, triangle, square. And they've drawn heart, triangle, square. Heart, triangle. I feel like Team Umizoomi trying to figure out this shape pattern. Heart, triangle, square. Heart, triangle, What goes here? Let's go back to the rule. The rule says heart, triangle, square. I have heart, triangle, square. Heart, triangle, square. So my next missing shape is a square. Then I have to fill in the other 2 blanks. Now what happens? I have heart, triangle, square. That's the end of my rule, but it's a pattern, so it repeats. Heart, triangle, square, heart, triangle. This is another one I took directly from a lesson. 14-3, I think, was the lesson. And this example right here is an example from 14-2. So next week, when you're working on this stuff, you should be able to come back to this video and get at least 3 questions correct. Have a great day.